Will you kindly join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. We'll begin by reviewing the draft minutes of our previous meeting, which was held on July 21st, 2025. After review of the draft minutes of that meeting, I make a motion to approve without amendment. Would a member second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Daryl. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We'll review the agenda as posted on the town website. For the Town of Brunswick Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting, August 18th, 2025, begin by 34 Cranston Road seeking area variances, followed by 75 Oneida Avenue, the area variance, and then our use variance and sign variance. Believe that they're here. So at the request of the applicant, they'll be adjourned.
Oh, okay.
First item of business on the agenda is 34 Cranston Road seeking the area variances. This is a public hearing. Would the applicant like to step forward and just present a brief overview of your project, please? If there have been any changes to the application since you were last here in July.
Still here to look for variance on a solar array, 30 by 20. It's going to be located to the left of my personal yard. Really nothing's changed. Contacted neighbors, and the three neighbors that I did speak with personally, actually a fourth, did not have an issue with it, but we still need that variance. I think we need 20, the zoning is 25 foot on each side, and we would be short 5 feet on each side.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can kindly take a seat and we'll begin. So I'm going to ask Mr. Gilchrist to read the public hearing notice on this public hearing. We'll note that it was published in the Troy Record, placed on the town signboard, and posted on the town website. And also mailed to all owners of adjacent property within 300 feet of the project site.
Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Town of Brunswick at 6 p.m. on Monday, August 18, 2025, at the Brunswick Town Hall, 336 Town Office Road, Brunswick, New York, 12180, concerning the application submitted by John Deboli for 2 area variances in connection with the installation of a ground-mounted small-scale solar collector system on property located at 34 Cranston Road. The application requests 1 area variance for rear yard setback and 1 area variance for side yard setback. Copies of the application are available at the Brunswick Town Hall and are available for public inspection during regular business hours. All interested persons will be heard at the public hearing.
Thank you very much. So visitors to the board will be recognized by the chairperson and asked to introduce themselves. And then the board and the applicant will try to answer the questions that have been brought up during the public hearing, if those facts are immediately available. If not, the questions will need to be referred to at a future meeting. Is there anyone who would like to speak for or against the application? You're welcome to come up.
Yeah, I would just like Joe DiGiorgio, 4 Banbury Road, right across the street from Cranston. I would just like to know how far back the solar panels are going to be, or how far in front, because it's on the left side of his house. And I drive that way. And there's a lot of deer that usually go in there. And I'm just curious of where they're going to be set up.
Sure.
In the front or in the back, or
Right, okay, yeah, very good. Yeah, so we'll try to answer that for you, and if you have any other concerns or questions, you can come up again and ask those. So would you like, yeah, come up and try to address those questions that your neighbor had, please? So it sounds like it's in regards to the location.
Absolutely. It's probably easier for me to just show a plot plan to Mr. DeGiorgio, and, I think that's a better explanation, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So if you're familiar with if you're familiar with the location of my home,
Yeah.
there's the drive. It was not a U-shaped driveway. But here's my home, and my yard goes on the left side. It's actually going to be located behind the home of Tom Myers. So it should not be
Behind his house?
behind his house. I actually own back there.
So families work there.
Um,
You got a lot of trees back there too.
Exactly. There's a tree located, right here and maybe right here. Those will be removed. We're trying to balance the solar efficiency
You gotta
with
take some trees down.
keeping it hidden. Correct. Correct. But essentially, it's not going to be visible, from Cranston Road.
Not visible. Well,
Would you like to
I was
introduce
more
yourself?
interested in the fact that the deer, we have the deer eating. This was at 12 noon today. And we got the deer out there eating. Basically, let's keep Brunswick beautiful. There shouldn't be any room for solar panels in our neighborhood. If you want them on your roof, so be it. Put them on the back, see what sun you could get, but I really don't think that this would be what I'd want to see in Brunswick.
So you're just aesthetically, you're not in favor of it, seeing solar panels?
Well, if you can put them in your backyard, put up a fence. Enclose them. I mean, nobody wants to see solar panels. It devalues
how many trees are
the
you-
property of our house, and you're taking down more trees. We moved to the country to have that.
I can understand your opinion, but, I guess the flip
Is
side.
what is it gonna heat? The pool?
It's not going to heat my pool. It's going to actually lower my electricity bill, but that's neither here nor there.
So I think at this moment, I'm just going to kindly ask that one person at a time is at the podium. So if you could, it looks like you're the last to join, so if you could kindly introduce yourself, please.
Okay, Karen Pascucci, and I live at 2 Banbury Road.
Okay, thank you. So I understand that the concerns that you have brought up are aesthetics, the integrity of the local deer population in that area, and then whether or not it can be visible from Cranston Road. Is that
We
correct?
don't want to see it on Cranston Road.
So
I mean,
you're,
it's a country area.
Mhm.
We don't want to see solar panels. Taking down more trees. I happen to love trees. My neighbors will tell you that. I just think it'll be an eyesore.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So if the applicant would like to come up and address the concerns of your neighbor, please.
In terms of the deer, I mean, I have plenty of deer on my property. I think she took a video of one earlier. Deer, I don't see are going to be affected at all by the location of solar panels. I know the solar installer. I've been to a number of his installations. They're out in the country. There's wildlife all over the place with or without the solar panels. So I really don't think it's going to have any impact at all on that. Aesthetically speaking, we're trying to balance that. I mean, we're trying to keep them as hidden as possible. One of the reasons why we located them there, it's at the bottom of the hill, and it's also behind, a home of an individual that expressed just the opposite interest as this neighbor. He says, it's fine with me. You do what you like with your property, essentially.
Mhm.
And, it's set back off the road, at least 50 feet, more like 100 feet. So again, we're trying to minimize any aesthetic issues that neighbors might have. Obviously, there's going to be some trees that need to be removed. Otherwise, the panels won't be efficient. However, we're going to preserve as much vegetation as possible for that reason, for the aesthetic.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I don't know, so the zoning board members have this in their application packet. I don't know if you want to present this to the neighbor perhaps, to kind of show up how the house, the other house lines up with the proposed arrays.
Sure. So, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Certainly, kind of introduce yourself and how you're related to the project, please.
Hi, I'm Doug McLaren. I like to call myself a solar educator, but I also work with East West Electric, who is the installer of record for the Deverly residents. And I'm the first to admit that solar panels can look very unattractive. I admit that, and I personally and professionally as an engineer really do not like to see solar panels on residential roofs for a couple reasons. Number one, first off, I don't like to look at them because many cases, because of dormers on the roof, or even recently I saw a simple vent through the roof, and there was one panel missing out of the perfect array. So one panel there with the vent roof up there. And the solar installers, I think, were largely lazy and remiss because it would have been so easy to move that vent to the opposite side of the house. And then we had a really nice looking array on the roof. So I think it can look very unattractive. I look at something like that and I say that's very unattractive. I like ground mounts for several reasons. The engineering of a ground mount means that you will never have to worry about leaks through your roof. So a leak on your most valuable possession for most people, your home, through a roof can be very detrimental because when's it going to happen? It's going to happen in January or February when we get a thaw and a freeze. The aluminum that it's mounted on has one of the highest coefficients of the thermal expansion. And we know how hot it can get up on the roof in the summer, how cold. So over years, this movement, I have seen too often leaks come through the roof. So aesthetically and engineering-wise, I don't like roof mounts, especially on residential roofs, which leaves us ground mounts. Now I'm a tree guy also, and I own a tree farm, a lot of acres, and my favorite time is in the woods. And I believe that it can be put in, solar can be put in without affecting the view too significantly. As a matter of fact, many people who don't want to see it, several places we put it 700 feet away from the house. No problem, because it's about customer aesthetics. No problem. So the ground mount, however, is the best way to put up solar panels, in my opinion. And it can be done without significantly affecting the aesthetics. The Deverly residents, clearly there's places where it could be seen, obviously, but I think it's a minimal impact, in my opinion, and many people have come to like to look at their solar panels because of the good that it does. Solar is renewable energy, and so back to the trees, the renewable energy helps impact global warming. And right now, if we go over to Postenkill where I live, a lot of certain trees, such as the birches, are actually dropping their leaves right now. Our pond is covered in them because it's so dry. So the solar panels can make a positive impact on the environment. Whether or not the aesthetics of seeing it are too great to allow it there, that's a discussion here. But I wanted to address the fact that I believe that the ground mounts are superior than a residential roof mount.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I ask you how big are the panels?
They are 87 inches long and 40 inches wide.
Okay, so how many panels?
24.
Are you kidding?
So cumulatively, what is the size?
It'll be 30 feet wide and then at an angle up about 20 feet.
You're gonna guarantee that he's gonna get enough energy out of those?
It's one of the
With the
things.
trees around there?
Mhm.
My neighbor has a tree, he has them on his house and he just had to add more panels because
Mhm.
he wasn't getting enough energy because of the trees.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have to cut down the trees.
In many cases, it's not necessary or desired or required by the customer to zero out their electric bill. Many cases, they happy to cut it in half, and so they don't need to build a system large enough to cover the entire thing. And that's typical with residential mounts on roofs. There's not enough area on the roof to zero out the bill, but customers are happy to have the bill cut in half. And the Deverly residents here, we are actually, because of the shading, let's say we have 20% shading, we can easily address that by adding 20% more panels. So that's one of the ways we're addressing the shading and still needing as much of the energy as necessary is by adding extra panels. So the shading is not an issue because of that. It's one way to address poor locations.
Thank you.
Reason to minimize cutting trees down.
Thank you. So to also share your comments.
I'm not an eloquent salesperson. I can honestly say without hesitation that I work for a business who put solar panels on their building. And when asked, did they work? They said, we haven't even couped the money it cost us to install, let alone help us with our electricity. Secondly, my own daughter put them on the back of her house. She hasn't seen a difference in her electric bill. So I'm not really sure whether or not these solar panels do exactly what everybody, the green deal that's going on in the world. I just don't think that it really works like a salesperson would tell you. Second and thirdly, we want to keep Brunswick beautiful. I mean, I don't know, maybe we should get privacy fences to hide the solar farm. I mean, that's to me what it's like. It's like it's going to be a solar farm, 24 panels. I mean, it really, I don't know. And even the president wants to get rid of all those towers in the ocean and all the other solar panels because they don't work. So I agree with him.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. DeGiorgio, could you kindly return the piece of paper, please? Thank you. I have my notes on it.
Oh, this is yours.
Yes. Thank you. Are you done looking
Yeah,
at it?
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Dudley, I have a few questions for you. If you can kindly come up, please. Could you kindly describe the angle of the panels? So if you're looking from Cranston, which way will they be pitched and which direction will they be pitched? In this diagram, if there could be a compass placed on it, which way is north, south, east, and west?
Would you like me to write that on there?
Yeah, sure, that'd be fine. And I can share it with the members. Great.
So the angle would be,
It'd be south and west.
and this will be the highest part, like
So you got this back, this is south on the right. And it'll be highest on the north side, obviously.
So that'd be on the north side, the north side.
Right, so the angle here's the land.
With that being in mind.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Okay,
So east is this side,
right,
west is here,
right,
north is here, and south is here.
right.
And so the array would be angled in that fashion relative to these directions.
Right. Right. So then did you, John and Daryl, have you seen?
Yeah.
Pass this. So from Cranston, we'll be looking at the cross section of the panels. So we're not necessarily looking at the back of the panels or the front of the panels, but we're looking at the cross section of the panels. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in that view, we will see 6 mounted posts,
Correct.
2 posts.
2 posts.
2 posts.
Okay, so we'll make that a correction to the application. Last month's meeting, it was discussed that there were 6 fixed posts. You're making the correction that there are 2.
I'm sorry, looking at it from the, from the west side,
Yes,
with the array pointing to the south,
right.
there will be 2 posts. Behind those 2 posts will be a
Lynn,
second set.
on-
And behind them, as we head towards the east, will be a third set of 2 posts. So there are 6 posts holding the array. As you look for the side, you'll see the 2 on the west
Thanks for making that
Middle and
clarification.
2 on the east.
Right.
Well,
So to put a fine point on that, we're actually looking at the smallest visual part of the array from that cross section. Okay. From the Cranston viewpoint.
From Cranston Road, looking back, correct. Looking east.
Thank you. Jack, do you understand?
Yeah, I know how they're situated. What's the maximum height at the pitch height?
11 feet.
11 feet?
Right. So just like a comment about public comments, when you're at the podium, I will give you the respect to listen to what you have to say, because I will ask you to respect me when I speak. So when you're not talking and I'm talking, thank you for being respectful. When you talk, I will be respectful to you. So we speak about the vegetative barrier that's between your neighbor's house and the proposed array. How would you describe the type of trees that are in that vegetative barrier?
There's probably about four or five trees that, are 30 to 40 feet in height. I don't know the actual variety of the tree.
Evergreen or deciduous?
They're hardwoods.
Okay, right. So just to clarify, you're saying that trees at the height of 30 to 40 feet will be maintained?
No, there's one at the corner that's indicated on that, the corner of my property, that's definitely needs to be removed. It would shade the array.
Mhm.
There's probably about 2 or 3 30-foot trees that would come down.
Okay, what will be standing? What will be left? How tall will those trees be?
They're really, there's vegetation that are more bushes and things like that, brush that would be left. But in order to get the efficiency that we need, those 2 to 3 trees would come down.
Okay, so the brush that will be standing, would they become a barrier to the posts that can be seen from Cranston Road?
Definitely.
Right, so, but not necessarily the tops of the arrays themselves at 11.5 feet.
I'd say that's fair.
Okay. And then part of the application, the elements that the zoning board will need to deliberate on is if there's any other feasible location on your property to site this array. Why this location and not another location on your property?
You know, we looked at directly behind my home, but because of the pitch of the hill and my house in front of it, you know, it wasn't feasible from a efficiency standpoint. You know, so we started to target that section that we're looking at primarily because it was, you know, hiding the array best, quite honestly. So, you know, that was the reason behind it. I know we needed to take some trees down, but we were minimizing the amount that needed to come down with it located there. So again, it's a balance between aesthetics and efficiency. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And as Doug pointed out, I mean, we could have gone with a smaller array. However, because of the shading and because of you know, of our goal to, you know, hide this as best we can, we decided it best to be, you know, adding a bigger footprint than taking down, you know, more vegetation.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the applicant?
I mean, it costs money to take down trees, right? And it, you know, so we're trying to minimize that. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's an economic decision as well.
How high is the elevation from the road that you think these panels will be? Because the property becomes very steep back there, correct?
Correct. But it's the array itself is going to be at the base of that hill. It's not going to be on that hill. I would say, you know, my yard specifically is about the height that array will be on. And my backyard is probably 5 to 7 feet above the road. Would you
So is
agree
it-
with that? 5 to 7 feet?
Well, I do agree with that, but I'm just saying, you make a mistake.
Well, I appreciate that.
So as the neighbors are driving down Cranston and they're looking behind your neighbor's house where these are going, what will be left of the barrier? I know the chairwoman asked that question, but how much of the barrier is going to be there to deaden the blow of looking at these?
Percentage wise, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. I would
I
say.
mean, I'm looking at I'm just looking at it on a map right now.
Yeah.
And there is quite a bit of vegetation there.
Sure,
So, and there's some that's on your neighbor's property,
right,
which obviously will have to stay. You can't cut that stuff down,
correct.
right? So based on where this is, it looks like it's, like you're saying, a good 30 feet deep and where there's already vegetation. So I'm saying there's going to be vegetation remaining
Absolutely.
to block this visually.
I would say the majority of it, you know, the majority of it stays. I mean, for the same reasons. I mean,
And that's why I think her question meant evergreen or not, because all the way through the winter season, when the leaves are off the trees is when you're seeing it. So, and that's what we're looking at. So,
May I add in?
Certainly.
Regarding the location of it, we looked at several places behind the house because of the hill. It's very difficult to mount an array on a steep hill. You can't get the foundation people to go up there, for example. The other thing that I want to make sure everyone's aware of is there's a power line going in front of the array. So you can't have a shadow on the array because that cuts the electrical DC current that goes through. So we have to stay out of the shadow of that array, which means either back towards the north of that little peninsula piece, back that way, which is where we put it, or up towards the house. And the house, we said, it gets into the septic area and an area there. And again, the aesthetics, it's much more visible there, we said, than putting it back there. Regarding the vegetation, it's, I think I said last time I was here, gnarly. It's vines and shrubs. There's a few trees that stand up, but the vines and shrubs, I would say, are on the average of 5 to 7 foot tall, some a little bit taller on dead trees that they've climbed up. So it's kind of gnarly, but it's all deciduous. There's no evergreens there. And with the 30-foot wide array in the 70-foot wide peninsula, I would expect that we'd have about a 10-foot buffer around the array on each side, leaving another 10 foot to the property lines where vegetation would not be needed to be cut. About 10 foot of existing vegetation on the Deverly property would not need to be cut. It would not affect the sunlight coming.
And then that is not taking into account the vegetation that would be left on the neighbor's property.
Correct. Not, obviously, none of that
That's-
can be touched.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please.
So I guess my question would be, if this is approved, does that open the door for everybody else to put in a solar farm in the neighborhood?
And who is everyone else?
Whoever lives there. On Cranston Road, on Petticoat Lane, on Banbury Road. So basically, we can just put a whole solar farm in our backyard at that point?
So 2 points. One, we're calling this an array instead of a farm. I don't know the technical term. Personally, I don't use that term, solar farm. I don't, solar farm, pardon me. Solar farm is something that grows. Farming is something that grows. So, excuse me, because I appreciate the respect that you're showing me, and I will show you that same
I'm sorry.
respect. So there are zoning laws in the town of where these things can be placed. And then I'm going to pass that over to our attorney, Mr. Andrew Gilchrist, who sits on our board, who helps us with these matters. So Mr. Gilchrist, if you could kindly weigh in.
Sure, in general, okay, where these types of ground mount solar arrays can be put is identified in the Brunswick zoning law. So the first place that anyone interested in this would look is in the solar, or strike that, in the Brunswick zoning law. You look a little bored. Am I boring you?
No, you're not boring me.
Okay.
but no,
Lawyers
I
can
didn't-
sometimes
I didn't
bore
read the-
people,
the
and I
zoning
understand that.
board. You know.
It's okay. Just I'll go through and finish quickly for you then. It's really determined by the zoning law. The reason this application is in front of the zoning board is while the property is zoned for solar array installation already, it's allowed under the Brunswick zoning law. He's asking for relief from certain setback requirements from his property line. But from a zoning perspective, whether the array is allowed at that location, it is allowed at that location under the zoning law.
Is that a different rule for, because it's on Cranston Road versus Banbury and Petticoat?
It's all dependent on the zoning map. Okay, if you're familiar with the zoning map, it will divide the town into certain zoning districts, and different locations may be within certain zoning districts. And there'll be a use table that says what uses are allowed within certain zoning districts. So to answer that question, it will be entirely dependent on looking at the zoning map and the use table in the zoning law.
Okay, and my next question is, these things are gonna be 11 feet tall? I mean, it's gonna be ungodly. Once all the trees, most of the trees in the neighborhood are all deciduous trees. They're gonna drop their leaves, and that's all we're gonna see, is a solar array, 24 panels in one person's yard. And so you're saying it's zoned? You're looking at the plot. Yeah, well, see, he pulled me out, so I thought I'd pull him out. I'm just looking for, so in other words, I'm zoned at this point that I can put 24 panels in my backyard?
So according to the zoning law, it doesn't articulate the actual number of panels.
Well, that's kind of like saying, come on, it's an array. An array is more than 3 solar panels in my backyard. Array means 24, 11 to 12 feet panels are going to be facing the street. There is deciduous bushes and where miners' houses, but come winter, there isn't going to be any leaves on those. And so I think maybe to make it just a little better, maybe a privacy fence with bushes in front of them. I mean, something where, for one person who has a beautiful home, to put this in his backyard, I don't even have words for it. He does have a beautiful home. It's going to detract. Apparently, he plans on living there the rest of his life because I can't think of anybody that would want to own a home there. I thought I was going to live on Banbury Road, but it's gotten to the point that the rules have changed so much, and so much is getting away with everything. Everyone in the neighborhood, whether it's a deck or a porch or whatever, it's just heartbreaking. We moved to Brunswick so we could be out in the country, and now we're having a solar array. And then you're saying that we're already zoned so that once he does it, then everybody can do it. We'll all have solar panels in our backyard instead of a pool or an apple tree or any of the other stuff. I'm sorry that being a little disrespectful, but I really take this to heart. I really would wish that we would not put these solar panels. Bad enough, and as the salesman said, I agree with them on don't put them on your roof because you're going to have all sorts of problems later on. And whether they work or they don't work, you're going to end up with leaks and ice building up under them and whatever in this, climate. But on the same hand, I'm still trying to figure out, I figured it had to be really bad because Sam down the street can put solar panels on his roof, but you needed to have a meeting to see if anybody objected to a solar array. And most people are afraid that their taxes will go up if they come and stand where I'm standing. So they didn't want to say anything, but it's not popular to have that in the yard.
Well, thank you for taking the chance and voicing your concerns and opinions tonight.
I don't see anybody.
All right. So just add all the points that you made. I think there still needs to be a clarification. So you said the arrays that you could see that are facing Cranston Road. And from the application information and from what I've heard from the applicant, I don't believe that to be true. So I'm going to ask the applicant again, just to clarify that point, please.
Okay, so we can clarify that and, why not in the back of his house where we don't have to look at it?
Right. So that was asked. That's a great question. And that was brought up. And I think the answer is aesthetics and topography.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So one more time, I'm going to ask the applicant or the representative that is with you tonight. There seemed to be some discrepancy in whether or not these arrays are going to face Cranston Road. Will they face Cranston Road?
They will not face Cranston Road. The angle, as you described earlier, if you're looking from Cranston Road, you're going to see the cross section of them.
Okay, thank you very
And they have
much.
to be set up that way.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, I need to please just quickly, just to be complete, Cranston Road runs north-south, correct? So the array is going to be to the east of that, and the panels will face to the south. So if you're on the one end of the road, you will certainly be able to see the face of the panels as you drive down Cranston, past the Devilly house,
Not this.
just past the house. Now you're looking completely at the profile of the array. And as you go further down Cranston, you will see possibly some of the back.
Well described. Thank you very much.
They are behind my house, they're behind another existing structure.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other comments from the public? I'll ask the building department, have there been any written comments submitted on this application?
No.
No. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions from any of the zoning board members? Okay, so hearing no further public comment, I make a motion to close the public hearing portion of this application. Would a member second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Daryl. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The public hearing is closed. The zoning board members are prepared to deliberate and act on the application. Before reviewing the elements, we'll note that this is a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, so no further seeker determination is required. We'll look at our elements. The board is asked to explain how no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood, nor detriment to nearby properties created by granting the area variances. Begin by saying the character of this Cranston Road neighborhood is a residential in an R40 zoning district. The 30-foot by 20-foot fixed mounted solar array upon 6 posts is intended for residential use. It would be obstructed from the closest, most affected neighbor by a vegetative barrier of trees. The angle of the arrays would be lean away from the neighbor's backyard view.
I'd like to say that the array itself might change the character a little bit, but the setback will not, and that's what we're discussing is the setback. And the setback is not going to have any effect whatsoever.
Thank you, John. We're also asked to explain why the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the requested area variances.
Well, I gather from the application that the applicant is trying to kind of hide where this is and tuck it away, and therefore he's getting closer to the boundaries. So he's just requesting an additional variance for that.
Thank you, Daryl. The board's asked to describe whether the requested area variances are substantial. We'll note that this is, again, zoning district R40. The lot area is 1.48 acres. What's required in the rear setback is 25 feet. What's being proposed is 20. And the right side back, what is required is 25 feet. And what is being proposed is 20 feet, a difference of 5 foot in each direction. I would say that it's not substantial. The board's asked to explain how the proposed area variances will not have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. And such considerations are noise, odor, water runoff, a need for public services. It would not create that undesirable need. And then lastly, the board is asked to explain whether the difficulty is self-created. We'll note that consideration is relevant, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variances.
Well, it's self-created because he wants them. As the attorney mentioned, he has the right to put them up because it's zoned in an area where he can have them. So if he was going to put them behind his house, he could do it without coming to us. But he's choosing to put it in a location where it's hidden for most people and requires variance, which is minimal.
Thank you, John. If there's no further deliberation, we'll consider the balance between the benefit to the applicant weighed against any detriment to the community at large or the neighborhood in particular, to determining to grant the requested area variances.
I'll make a motion to grant the 2 variances.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So the area variances have been granted. Kindly continue the work that you're doing with our hardworking building department, please. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good night.
Evening. Okay, our second on the agenda, 75 Oneida Avenue, seeking area variance. Would the applicant like to come up and kindly give a brief overview of your project and notify us if there's been any changes since your last here in July?
Okay, hopefully I get everything. All right, Sarah Legnard, 75 Oneida. There has not been any changes to the application that I can, no, right now. What else? Sorry.
Yeah.
We're looking to have the roof system removed and a new Campbell style roof system
Yes.
put on so that we have some sort of attic space, and we're looking to replace our front porch with a wider front porch. Encompasses the width of the house, does not get any closer to the street.
Okay, thank you. And this is a legal non-conforming primary structure.
Yes.
And is it also the
That
home?
one always throws me off. Sorry.
Okay, right. And is it also the home of a beautiful free library?
It is.
That's very interesting to know.
That was our COVID project.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate learning that. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Happy
We'll
chickens.
proceed. Okay, thanks. You can take a seat?
Okay.
So the zoning board will open the public hearing on this application. We'll note that the hearing posting was published in the Victoria Record, placed on the town sign board, posted on the town website, and mailed to all owners of adjacent property within 300 feet of the project site. Ask Mr. Gilchrist if you can kindly read that posting, please.
Yes. Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Town of Brunswick at 6:15 PM on Monday, August 18, 2025, at the Brunswick Town Hall, 336 Town Office Road, Brunswick, New York, 12180, concerning the application submitted by Sarah Legnard for an area variance in connection with the alteration of an existing nonconforming structure on property located at 75 Oneida Avenue. The application requests a variance allowing for installation of new roof trusses and enlargement of a front porch. Copies of the application are available at the Brunswick Town Hall and are available for public inspection during regular business hours. All interested persons will be heard at the public hearing.
Thank you very much. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak for or against the application, you're welcome to do so. Kindly introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Christy Fraunhofer, and I live at 72 Oneida Ave, almost directly across from Sarah and Jay. And Sarah, Jay, and their daughter Scarlett are like famous in our neighborhood. They have the little free library. They give out eggs that their chickens have. They give out excess from their gardens. They help shovel. They help do everything to help all of their neighbors all around. We are so delighted that they are not looking to move. We want them to stay in the neighborhood, and we are in full support of anything that they want to build. Everybody loves them, so it's sort of relevant that they're the best neighbors in the world. So we hope that they are approved. And I also have a letter from their neighbor who lives directly next to them, and she couldn't make it tonight, but she's just as enthusiastic that they get approved if possible.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So-
I'm going to add something quickly
Certainly.
because now I'm thinking about it. I did just speak directly with, obviously Connie, because she's, like super close. And our neighbor directly next to us, that's the brick house, that's very close. Nick, oh my gosh, Esposito. And he's fully on board. We've actually been keeping him apprised of like steps and everything along the way. Also talked to Scott Walsh, who's directly across the street. Those are really our three directs that would be, right there, and everyone seems to be on board. So That's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. And we'll submit this letter written by Connie Boyce that approves. She approves the project. Are there any questions for any of the zoning board members?
No.
Okay. And the building department has not been in receipt of any other letters outside this one that's just been submitted. Okay. All right. So hearing no further public comment, I make a motion to close the public hearing portion of the application. Would a member second?
A second.
Thank you, John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The public hearing is closed. The zoning board members are prepared to deliberate and act on the application. We'll note that this is a type 2 under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, so no further secret determination is required. We'll consider our standard elements. The board is asked to explain how no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties created by granting the area variances. To start by saying increasing the elevation of the roof line maximizes the amount of storage space on the existing footprint of the house. Also, adding a new front porch will not produce an undesirable change to the characteristic of this lovely, well-maintained Sequoia neighborhood, as neighboring houses also have usable front porches and expanded attics. We're asked to explain why the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variances.
Well, given the size of the property, the expansion is out, that's for sure. Can't really do that. So going up is better.
Thank you, John. And the board is asked to describe whether the requested area variances are substantial. We'll note that this is an R9 zoning district, sits on a 0.87 lot area. What is required is a front setback of 30 feet, side setback of 10, rear setback of 30. This is an existing primary structure and a legal non-conforming structure. The board is asked to explain how the proposed area variances will not have adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
I think it's going to be in the same character of the rest of the houses in the neighborhood.
Thank you, John. And then lastly, the board is asked to explain whether the difficulty is self-created, noting the consideration is relevant but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variances. I think you'd have to go back to the time when the house was purchased to know that it was a non-conforming, and then how you were to anticipate you're using it in the future. So I would say it is non-self-created. So if there's no further deliberation, we'll consider the balance between the benefit to the applicant as weighed against any detriment to the neighborhood or to the community at large or the neighborhood in particular, and determining to grant the requested area variances.
I'll make a motion to grant the area variances.
Thank you, John. Second?
A second.
Thank you, Daryl. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So your variances have been granted. Great. Please continue to coordinate with the building department going forward. All right. Have a good night. Thank you for coming to speak. Our first item of new business is 1 Deerfield Drive. This is a very well put together application. And I believe we have someone who will speak on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Robert Goldman. We have a letter stating that, and you're that person. Thank you. Come on up. Kindly give us a brief overview of the project. How are you doing tonight?
Good.
Good, thanks.
Don Redward, DMG Contracting. We're looking for a variance for our property line from 25 feet to 5 feet setback inside the fence yard. We're looking to install a storage type shed, picnic area at the end of the pool.
Okay.
That's more or less what we're trying to do.
Right, and I see the schematics that you've included in the application. I appreciate that. Just have a quick couple of questions for you, just to confirm, it is a 1 acre lot,
We looked at it, it's just under an acre.
just under an acre, okay.
It's a corner lot, so it looks, bigger than it is.
Okay,
0.92 acres.
thank you. And what separates the applicant's property to the rear, the neighbor that would be affected by the granting of this?
All
area variance?
fencing.
All fencing.
There's fencing on both sides. The neighbor that would be most affected to the right, which is number 3 Deerfield, has no problems or issues with it at all.
Mhm.
But said it would give her more privacy if there was a structure there, so that she's not looking from her yard or to their yard.
Right, and what kind of fencing?
There's a stockade fence there right now, a 6-foot stockade wooden fence that goes down the whole property line.
And then this may be more to the building department than to you, Mr. Gregoire, but is it a left side setback or a right side setback? What?
Right.
Right, okay. And as you.
So one
oh, sorry.
corner of the building, we're asking for 5 feet off the property line. And the other end of the building, I don't think it affects it.
Okay,
Because
it's within the
we're putting it at an
setback.
angle.
Okay, understood. And as you saw, the way that the zoning board went through the elements, we asked, why not another spot? How come this spot? How come not another location
They
on the
have a
property?
septic field on one side, their pool, the land, there's hills on the other side. It just makes more sense to put it at the end of the pool. They have a plastic storage shed there now that's, that's gonna come out if this is approved. And
Mhm.
they're looking to create a little sitting area around their pool.
Mhm. Okay, great. All right, well, thank you very much. Yeah, so for this very well put together application, let's schedule a public hearing the next time that the zoning board meets, and that's September 15th, and it'll be at 6 o'clock. And just another quick question, on behalf of the applicant, would you grant us permission to come and visit the site?
Absolutely.
Okay, and
And he can come to the next meeting.
okay, good. It's really not that bad, And then there's a phone number in the application that ends 3305. Do you think that'd be the best number to coordinate a site visit?
I don't know what number that is.
Yeah, it's his number.
Oh, the owner?
Yeah.
You'd probably be better off calling me.
Okay, that's good. And yours ends with 6465.
Yeah,
All right, that's what I'll do then. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
all right.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Yeah, that opposite corner scales to about 22 feet, so we still wouldn't meet the opposite corner. One corner they labeled 5 feet, but if you scale it, the opposite corner is still shy of the 25 feet.
Okay.
So this corner here is about 22 feet.
Right. Okay, so it needs like a 3-foot
Yeah,
setback? Okay. Thank you.
it needs a whole lot, need it to 5 foot on the other corner, so.
Right. Okay, and our second item of new business tonight is 15 Berkshire Drive. Hello and welcome, come on up. You're a repeat customer. We do things pretty well around here.
Wow.
Some people are happy.
If I had thought this through properly the first time. it might have been good.
Okay,
Andrew Polinsky, Team Berkshire. You were kind enough to grant me the initial request of the variance 6 months ago. I couldn't get on the same page with the pricing of these pool installers, so I kind of waited. And now do you remember the yard?
yes, very well.
Thank you. My wife has asked me, is there a way to not have to destroy all the concrete that we have here, like the stone and everything? I said, well, we go to the side here. We own the parcel, the vacant parcel here. I'm asking for the 5 feet variance that you were able to grant me first time to the rear. It's even less of a non-issue to this side.
Okay.
It's my property and it's not going to be built on.
Okay. All right. So then we're seeking a rear and a right side.
The rear we have approved.
Okay,
And help me, the right side, as I face my home, to the right, or from, looking out from the front? That would be for the left. I don't know how you define that.
I believe it's the right side. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, okay, right. So then what is required for the right side is 25 or 15? 25, and then what's being proposed is 5.
Excuse me, 15, I'm sorry.
Sorry, 15.
Excuse me.
So what was required is 15, and what's being proposed is 5. Okay, yeah. Right, I understand. All right, so we'll put this very well put together application on the agenda for next month, September 15th. So there's someone in front of you at 6, so we'll schedule this for 6:15.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then do you give permission for the zoning board members to come up and take a look?
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
If I could ask an off-topic question, really not related to this. There's a home being built adjacent to me on the other side. I don't know what the setback town and county rules are, proximity from a well to a septic system. Do you guys come out and inspect the final? As long as it's being put in the right place, I could care less, but I don't know what goes on. I want to make sure that, at least that part is right.
The well is handled by the county. We don't get involved in well and septic.
Okay. The
So
well,
you have to reach out to the county health department.
to make sure that if the septic's being placed, my well's in, he's
Yeah.
putting his septic.
Yeah, you have to reach out to the county for that.
Okay,
That's out of our jurisdiction.
okay, thank you. And they'll send someone to look and just make sure it's,
I can't presume what they would do.
I don't know how the process works.
Yeah, you'll find it. Ask them how it works.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll help you.
Okay,
Good.
thank you. Have
All
a
right,
nice night.
good night. Yeah, thank you. We'll see you next month.
Okay.
Any more items of new business? I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Would a member second?
I'll second.
Thanks, John. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Good night.